Laguna State University in Bacolod, Pampanga. Our second game for today features Blackwater Bossing taking on Phoenix Super LPG. And now let's meet the starters. First, for Blackwater Bossing, a 6-foot guard from Bicol, number 0, Simon Enciso. A 6'2 guard from Dingaras Ilocos Norte, number 8, Ed Dakiwag. A 6'2 forward from Mandaue City, Cebu, number 7, Ron Dennison. A 6'4 forward from Novaliches, Quezon City, number 21, Carl Brian Cruz. And a 6'6 center from Santa Barbara, Pangasinan, number 12, Marion Magat. Head coach for Blackwater is Nash Rosella. And now the starters for Phoenix Super LPG. A 6-foot guard from San Mateo Isabela, number 4, Chris Banquero. A 6'3 guard from Ramos Tarlac, number 7, Matthew Wright. A 6'5 center from Bacolod City, number 18, Justin Chua. A 6'4 forward from Bolinao, Pangasinan, number 3, Jason Perkins. And a 6'3 forward from Santa Rita, Pampanga, number 2, Mike Calisaan. Head coach for Phoenix is Topex Robinson. Our referees for this game, Nor Kiningen, Janine Nicanto.
Here are your starters for this game between Blackwater and Phoenix. For the Bossing, Enciso, Dakiwag, Magat, Denison, and Carl Brian Cruz. As for Phoenix, you got Banquero, Wright, Chua, Perkins, and Calisaan. Ball is up, game is on. That tip-off brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Quick bucket for Ed Dakiwag. And for Blackwater, we mentioned some of the names. So you mentioned some of the names who have not been available in their previous match. And Nabong not in uniform for this game. But we saw Baser Mer was in playing uniform earlier.
Yeah, there's a good chance that Baser might be able to play today. And definitely he will be of help to this Bossing team.
Jason Perkins, you know, had quite I would say a slow start, coach, to this tournament. But he's picking it up, and this is where you really need your key guys to play at the top of their games, because this is where wins have extra significance.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, he did have a slow start, but once his game started to pick up, you can even see him now. He's starting every game with a lot of intensity. That's why last game was really big for Jason Perkins to perform.
But Ed Dakiwag here, also a fiery start for him, and a big smile as he scores the first 5 points for Blackwater.
A good start is always important for any team.
Looks like they rule it at 2, so only 4 points up on the board. Banquero now. Calisaan shooting from the corner, no good. Perkins got the board, but they say that's because he pushed off. You talked about the aggressiveness that he came into this game with, and intensity as well. Perhaps a little too much.
Well, that's the one that's firing him up when he starts out very well. But it's just that sometimes, yes, when you really get carried away because you're just too intense, then that's the time you make more mistakes.
Dakiwag to CBC. Cruz has that shot. Doesn't work though. Chua getting that board. How important is it for Phoenix, and particularly perhaps for Matthew Wright, that point guard role does not necessarily fall into his responsibility anymore, coach? He has a Chris Banquero, a running mate here.
Well, it gives him more freedom to really look for his shot. Because normally when you're at point, you have to think of executing well and getting everyone in the right spots. But as a scorer, you will definitely just focus more on looking for shots and taking shots.
Dennis looks like he was put into this game with the specific role of stopping Matthew Wright. How about that pass from Enciso? Setting up CBC for that 3. Now Enciso can score. I think that has been established in the league. Even in his rookie year when he was playing for Phoenix, But one thing he can also do is really be a floor general for Blackwater.
Yes, he's a good guard. He definitely has a lot of leadership skills. So he needs to get this team, a young team, involved. But then, pag nagsabay sila ni Basera Mer, I think that would be a good combination because both of them can be combo guards wherein they can be both scorer and facilitator.
You know what I feel about Blackwater also, Coach Eric, is that we've seen some brilliant games from individuals on that team. But it hasn't really come at the same time. Parang hindi nagsasabay-sabay yung mga good games from key individuals on the squad.
I mean, you look at CBC's there. He's a member of the national team before. You got Denison. Denison can also be a great defender and role player against a guy like, and he's been matching up with Matthew Wright. Tapos meron ka pang, Baseres there. So it's a quite, it's a decent lineup for me. And it can be competitive. It's just that right now, we're not really seeing it translate into wins.
That's right. And para naman dito sa Phoenix, they're currently 9th with a 3-5 record. Now, what I feel with Phoenix is, of course, there were drastic changes in their roster. They lost the beast in Calvin Abueva, but introduced Vic Manuel, Chris Banquero, a couple of good rookies there. But they started this tournament. Banquero wasn't healthy. He had to miss some games, and then eventually, as you take a look at this tip in from Magat, may kasama pa yan na foul coming from Kalisan, so there's gonna be a bonus for Magat. On top of Banquero not being available for the first few games of Phoenix, Matthew Wright also had to miss a game. So the first few games kasi were supposed to be the feeling out for new teammates because we didn't really have tune-up games.
Mahirap eh.
Diba?
Yeah, they didn't have that. And preparation-wise, they were not able to go through the regular preparation for any tournament.
Exactly.
They were so limited in preparation because of all the health restrictions, all the lockdowns that have been happening. So they were quite limited only to 3-on-3s or even 1-on-1 conditioning. That's about it. So that's why a lot of these teams are just getting in shape or getting in game shape and getting their timing back now. So it does take time because at least you're already in the middle of the tournament. So this is the time when they start picking up their game. The sad part is you only have 11 games. It's a quick elimination round. It's not like double round or more than that. So that's the toughest part. If you fall behind, if you fall below the top 8 teams in the league, that would be a big problem for you. You will definitely struggle. And by the time you catch or get your game, you're already down in the cellar.
That's right. And it might have been the case for Phoenix, but the good thing is they still have a few more games left to try and correct, their misfortune at the start of this tournament.
At least you want to get into the top 8, and then let your fate take care of itself and just play hard.
Cruz did not get the 3. Now for Blackwater, like we talked about earlier, officially they still have a chance to break into the playoffs, but they might have to win all of their remaining games, the 3 games that they haven't played yet, this one included, and then hope that the results of other games involving the other teams will go towards their favor.
Yes, they definitely just need to make that push and hopefully get to a decent record where you need to help them qualify into the next round.
Here's the guy who played well for the Bossing last game around. Golia checking in now for Cruz. Andre Paras also on the floor now for Coach Nash Racela. Early substitutions there for Coach Nash. Banquero looking for options. Kalisaan left open, but he couldn't get that point-blank shot. Here's Blackwater pushing the pace. Desiderio kicked out. Dakiwag says, let's wait, let's reset our offense. It's Enciso versus Banquero. Golia. Oh, he was able to fish for a foul. All he wanted to do was try and bail his team out by taking a shot at the end of the shot clock.
That was a lucky break for Golia. He wasn't even ready to take that shot when the ball was kicked out to him.
Frank Golia was not on the active roster of Blackwater in their first few games of the tournament. Was activated entering this semi-bubble in Bacolor. And you know, the moment he entered that lineup, it was him and CBC, coach, who were activated in lieu of Jun Gabriel and Raymark Acuno.
You just have to be ready talaga eh. I mean, you'll never know when that call will come.
I guess especially in this situation now. You know, with the pandemic on, there's a lot of developments that some of them beyond anyone's control. You never know when you're gonna get that call.
I mean, the challenge is always just to be ready and to be in shape.
Which, as you mentioned earlier, it's easier said than done sa sitwasyon ngayon.
Oh,
But,
yeah, that's very true.
you know, Blackwater has had several good starts in this tournament. It's gonna be a matter of how long and how well they can sustain this energy. We have a timeout brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. The Blackwater bossing, they've given the keys to Simon Enciso when he entered the team prior to the start of this tournament. And look how he scored in his first 4 games as a Blackwater bossing. But his last 4 games here in the bubble, not as successful.
Nag-struggle siya. He couldn't really get his shots to fall. He was averaging 17 points and then down to 10. So that's going to be tough for Simon, but he just has to really, you know, move on and try to pick things up because his scoring is definitely needed by the team.
That's going to be a foul on Desiderio as he and Chua were trying to fight for that possession. 5-point lead for Blackwater. Something they have to be careful about is that they just entered penalty situation. Still with about 5.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Perkins against Golia. Banquero attacking the middle. That's going to be a 3-second violation on Phoenix.
There's a lot of hesitation. They haven't really, I mean, the defense of Blackwater is just like sitting in the lane. They were like in a zone.
What's going to be key, coach, for Blackwater in trying to get a win today against Phoenix?
But for Blackwater, although they're up by 5 points, they need a guy like Baseramer. We need to see the Baseramer that we see with the Meralco Bulls, wherein he scores 20 points, gets some assists as well. They also need a steady presence in the middle. I mean, right now it's just going to be Paras and Frank Golia manning the slot. They need a solid guy to really control the boards and be a defensive shot blocker. And that's the only way they can really get this team to go.
Well, here's Amir. A welcome sight for Blackwater that he's good to go after missing their last game. Tolomia finding an opening underneath.
Nice finger roll there, coming off the spin move.
And Tolomia, ever since, college, playing for the FEU Tamaraws, he's been so smooth. And he really has his way around the basket.
Well, Perkins is really smooth again. He's got, I believe Perkins has 4 points already in the game.
That's actually 5 points.
Or 5 points rather.
Opened the game with a three-pointer. Offensively, there are so many ways that Jason Perkins can hurt you, right? Goal, yeah.
Open. Again.
Yeah. He wants to impress you again, coach.
He really has that shot. Never saw that shot in college at all.
Oh yeah, but I think it was first put on display when he was playing for TNT, if I remember correctly. Not often, but he would take a couple of threes whenever defenders sag off of him.
Well, it's always good for a big man to always have a three-point shot because tendency is oh, what a nice spin move here. Back to back. Great footwork there on the part of Tolomia.
Someone who can really provide the points for Blackwater. That's Mike Tolomia. There have been games where he would lead the team in scoring. Sometimes it would be Simon Enciso. Sometimes Ed Akiwag. And again, it's going to be a matter of all these guys having these good games all at the same time. That might be the one game or the way that Blackwater ends this slump that they're on and finally get a win.
Yeah, kailangan lang talaga. They just need that breakout win. So at least they get confident with their game, with their team. So, oh, look at this move here. But if there's no confidence in the team, then that's going to be a big problem, especially in the position of Blackwater now at the end of our team stand.
Perhaps a challenge then kasi coach for Blackwater. You talk about Enciso, Amer, Tolomia. These are guys who are used to having the ball in their hands, diba? So, but they're also guys who can really take over the offense. But I don't know if it's more of a challenge for Coach Nash, the balancing of that.
Well, these guys are good players. It's just a question of just developing that chemistry.
That's right.
And sometimes chemistry is overnight. Sometimes it takes time for some because it really depends with the different personalities. And at the same time, again, we will always go back to these are very unusual situations wherein all these teams are preparing during the pandemic, which is a lot harder to prepare for a season.
You know what, Blackwater, their guards, they're finding success near the basket and just looking for those gaps in there. Oh, something developing over there.
All players, please proceed to the shaded area in front of your respective benches. Both teams are advised to observe on your bench decor.
Coach Nash, Racela, and Matthew Wright having some words. It looked like there was also something earlier between Basera Mer and Jason Perkins.
I didn't really see what happened there. I kind of missed how it all started.
Well, there was something in that play between Torralba and Perkins, looks like. And Cruz going up to the grill of Jason Perkins. Cruz might have given a little shove after that. Oh, okay, Perkins. I think you know what? Coach Eric, this is one of the rare times where it's easier to see in full speed. You'll see kung gaano talaga kalakas yung mga tulak. Di ba?
And then I would give the referee also a technical foul for hitting CBC from behind.
Well, something that we appreciate here is that the teammates, the players there, they prevented, and also the officials, of course, prevented anything from blowing up.
Wasn't Perkins and Torralba together
I believe so.
Trying to figure out if they were teammates before.
But they definitely both played for De La Salle.
De La Salle,
We're
yeah.
gonna have to double check
Weren't
if
they like in the same?
the same batch,
I
right?
have to check because I know Toralba's also from La Salle.
Well, he did play initially for the EAC Generals,
Oh,
and
okay,
then
okay.
eventually transferred to the De
To
La Salle
De La
Green
Salle.
Archers.
So okay. But CBC knew how to handle the situation. See there, Toralba and Perkins are definitely talking there.
They definitely, had some time together in that campus. Now, whether they shared the same roster, we'll double check.
Sabi ng isa, labo mo naman, lasalista ka. Oh. Pareho naman sila taga-Lasal eh.
Sometimes, coach, these are...
Yeah, these things happen in the game.
Yeah, and then they understand also that, okay, we're wearing different uniforms now.
But I like the way CBC played it well. See here, well, he got entangled in a screen there.
Foul is on number 15, Joshua Toralba. That's his first personal penalty situation. Technical foul on Jason Perkins. Technical foul on Carl Brian Cruz.
I like the way when he pushed away. Now the referee's over CBC.
Okay, the referee's knee kind of hit the back of the head. That's above the shoulder. Should that be a flagrant on the ref?
I'll give a technical foul on the ref too.
Okay, we'll get things sorted out here. We have a timeout. 9-point lead for Blackwater. We'll be right back. Phoenix trying to come back and prevent this from an early blowout. And, this lull, Coach Eric, that we had here as a technical foul was assessed on Jason Perkins and on Carl Brian Cruz. Those were the announcements that we heard from Coliseum announcer Noel Zarate. But a foul was whistled on Joshua Toralba when he was defending Matthew Wright. And somehow that foul was where it all began, because I guess Phoenix did not appreciate how physical Blackwater was playing Matthew Wright, and there was a little bit of a shove from Jason Perkins after the whistle had been blown. Kind of sparked some reactions from both squads.
Well, at this stage, Jot, I mean, you want to see some intensity on the part of Blackwater if they really want to get back. So they started out this game very well. They're quite intense, okay? Toralba's there is to play physical, to play rugged defense. Sometimes you also want to get into the heads of your opponent because you also want to set the tone in this game.
Golya, second three-pointer for him. And he is still playing very, very well, picking up where he last left off in that previous game.
2 minutes.
They're quite competitive now, and you like what you see with the Bossings playing like this kind of intensity.
Azul answers back with a three of his own. Imagine Blackwater, 27 points with about 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining in the first. This is definitely one of their better scoring quarters here in the bubble.
Well, 4 out of 12. They've been taking a lot of the three-point shots, and 2 of them, there, look. This is the Tolome has already, I've counted 6 layups already that he's done. So it's getting into the heart of that defense.
And you're absolutely correct, Coach, with what you said about Tolomia. His footwork, it's his footwork that's amazing, and that's allowing him to find a way to slither through the defense. But look at Vic Manuel doing what he does best.
Oh, his moves remind me of a guy like Jerry Esplana. I don't know if you remember a guy like Jerry Esplana back in the day who played for Shell. I mean, those are the kind of pivot moves that Jerry Esplana would make. The way that you see Mike Tolomia get into the lane.
You know what? Now that you mentioned it, never crossed my mind, but now that you mention it, yeah, I'm seeing Jerry Esplana and how Mike Tolomia moves.
Jerry Esplana, I remember, para mga ganun, he loves those pivot moves. He's got great footwork for a guard. Not he contra Chepo, he doesn't. He's not as explosive, but extremely effective.
Amer, 9 on the 24 for Blackwater. Amer makes his move, kick out. Toralba from the corner, also hits the corner of the board. Wright. Matthew Wright, only 2 points here in the first quarter so far. Loses the basketball, that's gonna be a turnover. He's looking for a foul. 7-point lead here for the Bossing. The Kiwag and Enciso getting ready to check in for what could be their last offensive attack here in first. Phoenix given the order from Coach Topix Robinson to give up a foul as they have 2 more with 18.4 seconds remaining in the first. Kiwag has it. And the Kiwag, Matthew Wright playing good defense on him. Oh, the Kiwag, that was tripped by Wright. They didn't need to give up a foul, as Wright was able to force the turnover. Phoenix will have one last crack at it. Garcia will miss. And that will be the buzzer that signals the end of the first quarter. It was very action-packed, Coach, but at the end, it's Blackwater up by 7.
Well, you got to see a lot of positivity on the part of Blackwater.
The Phoenix Super LPG Fuel Masters, they have 2 big names in their backcourt in Banquero and Wright. And these guys, not only can they score, but they can very well set up their teammates as well.
Allowed these guys, especially Banquero, with 4 points. He definitely, his points are definitely needed, you know, most especially. But then, you know, even if they win with against Terra Firma, it is expected, or they are known to even score more than 4 points and 15 points respectively, because they are great players.
Start of the second quarter, what were your observations in that first period? What did Blackwater do well to get the 7-point lead?
Well, first of all, they've been aggressive attacking the basket. You see Tolomia doing that. CBC and even Golia have been taking their shots from the outside. So the most important thing here is, you know, those guys slashing to the basket. They have been very successful in that, and there are now, since everyone is driving to the lane, the shots from the outside are wide open.
That shot though bounced towards the back of the board. turnover there for Blackwater. And again, Coach, no, we talk about this strong start by Blackwater. This is something actually that we've seen from them.
Yes,
They start game strong.
kailangan talaga eh. I mean, especially now that you're trying to get more positives out of your game, you want to start out well. And starting out well every day sets the tone for every team.
However, they also have to finish strong. That's something that they haven't really been able to do in this tournament. Canaleta trying to look for Cruz. Instead, it was Amer who was open. Shot was too strong from deep. On the floor for Phoenix, Garcia, Manuel, RJ Azul has checked in. Jake Pascual and Nick Demuses. As for Blackwater, they're running right now. It's Enciso, Dakiwa with the basketball, Amer, Carl Brian Cruz, and KG Canaleta.
Substitution, Richard Escoto for Marcelo.
5-point lead for Blackwater, 10 and 25 to go. Richard Escoto checking in now for Blackwater. Enciso. He's someone who Blackwater will need to get going for them to have a chance to get this game.
I mean, Tolome's producing, Goles producing, it's Enciso and Amer. I would always believe if Amer can really show his, his old self, then I'm sure this Blackwater bossing team would be a lot tougher.
Phoenix scoring there again, trimming the deficit down to 3 points. And this is where the character of Blackwater will be tested. When the opposing team is already making its comeback run, where will the points come from? How will they be able to weather this storm brought by the Phoenix Super LPG? They've been taking a lot of three-pointers here in the second quarter, but not one has fallen yet.
Well, they have to vary their attack. They cannot always be over-reliant on the three-point shot, especially if it was falling for them a while ago.
Well, actually, not much success on the side of Phoenix as well when it comes to three-pointers. Here's another three, and it's another miss. 0 for 3 this quarter, Coach, in less than 3 minutes of action. 0 for 3 is Blackwater from deep.
They have to change it up. I'm sure Coach Nash is telling them to change it up at this stage.
Garcia thought about it. One dribble, and his shot eventually missing. Man, these two teams quite cold, and this might be a break that both teams enjoy as they need some time to talk things over what's not working right now, both for Blackwater and Phoenix. Although, for the Fuel Masters, they're slowly getting back in this game. Timeout brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
Kaya, kanyon ng kanyon.
Back to this game between the Phoenix Super LPG Fuel Masters and the Blackwater Bossing. We cannot emphasize enough how important this is for these two teams as they hold on for dear life for their chance to break into the playoffs here in the Honda PBA Philippine Cup 2021. Thank you for joining us on PBA Rush. Jot Sulit and Coach Eric Reyes here delivering the action happening over at the Dove Su Gym in Bacolor, Pampanga. Mike Tolomia trying to lead Blackwater. He had a good first quarter, Coach, but there will need to be help coming from other guys for the bossing.
point production and support is critical. It's still Tolomia. Tolomia is really leading the way in terms of scoring. I hope he can continue this so that others may follow.
8 points for Tolomia now. 8 also for Golia, but he's on the bench as of the moment for Coach Nash Racela. Expect him to be back later in this game. Tolomia once again. He is just finding ways to get to the basket and score points.
Yeah, he needs a lot of support. They have to make stops as well.
That is the value of a Mike Tolomia for Coach Nash Racela. Azul leaves it up for Perkins. Another chance for Phoenix. Garcia now to Azul. Corner three is good. Second three-pointer now for RJ.
Those second chance opportunities is giving them life. And once you're up and the opposing team takes a shot and misses, you have to control that rebound so that it continuously demoralizes them.
Tolomia with the basketball. Again, he is just finding a way to get past the defense, and he finishes through the foul.
Yeah, he's the lone bright spot so far for the bossing. A while ago, there was some support coming from Golia.
Look at this.
Takes Jake Pascual to school. He took like 4 guys to the hoop.
Mike Tolomia is a man on a mission here in the second quarter. He has been torching Blackwater. In fact, he's responsible for all 6 points that Blackwater has in the second period. Azul. Banquero open. Perkins by the baseline, no good, but Chua working hard to get that second chance. It's Azul once again!
Okay, Judd, that's the second time Phoenix missed a shot and got an offensive rebound and the putback, or at least a second chance opportunity. That's not good because you want to shut them down. Oh!
You know what? I'm not sure if Simon called that.
He called it, he's not smiling.
So that's
Hindi
the tell.
Hindi chamba. Pag medyo
Alright.
nag-smile yung player yun, hindi sinadya yun.
Now I know that that's the tell.
Oh, what a block!
Golia, he's helping out Blackwater both offensively and defensively. Canaleta straight away three. Doesn't get the bounce.
Almost, yes, almost.
Action picking up here in the second quarter. Blackwater staying ahead. Chua, back to Banquero. Now it's Azul moving that ball around. Banquero once again attacking by the baseline. Picked up by Tolomia. And Azul will no longer let Tolomia get a look at that basket, fouling him as far as the half-court line. Just a tick under 6 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Blackwater up by 6. Phoenix has been trying to get back in this game. But this man with the basketball, Mike Tolomia, refused to let the Fuel Masters get closer as he went on a personal 6-0 rally.
First 5 team fouls for Phoenix.
Substitutions here now for Coach Tomix Robinson. Melesio checking in. Azul will take a seat for now. Tolomia almost losing that basketball, completely losing it. Banquero taking it away, and a great hustle still for Tolomia. Although he was called for a foul and he disagrees.
Second, first
his attitude, referring to Mike Tolomea. He never quit on this in this action here. He still challenged a shot, although the refs called the foul. It doesn't really matter personally because I like the way he challenged that that attempt.
What do you think from what you saw in that replay? Does he have a case?
Looks clear from that replay though. Although again, it always depends on where the referee was when they saw how they saw it. Because if the referee was behind, you would think that he got a swipe and hit that arm.
Well, nonetheless, Banquero will step up to the free throw line. You know, earlier, Coach, it was Blackwater who entered penalty situation around the 5-minute mark of the first quarter. Now it's Phoenix, who's already in penalty with 5:40 left in the second. Let's see if Blackwater will be able to capitalize on that.
Well, they've been aggressive driving to the basket. Well, it's really more Tolomea doing all the slashing, and then a lot of the guys are just driving or taking shots from kickouts. They definitely need to break this defense and take advantage of the penalty situation.
Cross court.
Nice pass.
Great find there. Golia spotting Magat all alone underneath.
See, that's what happens. Golia is respected already for his three-point shots because he's making them. So defense now extends out and gives the wide open shots to Magat underneath.
You know, Phoenix unable to capitalize there. Blackwater actually dodged a bullet there because their defensive rotation, it left either Melesio or Banquero open for a jumper. But Banquero, when he took that mid-range shade, just couldn't get that to fall in. And this is what we were talking about. Phoenix already in penalty. So even though that foul was on their side of the court, they send Marion Magat to the free throw line.
Magat had a tough time against Northport the last time out. Since Nabong was out, he had to guard Greg Slaughter. And he got hit a couple of times because Greg was so tall. And we tried to use his arm bar on Magat. It always hits Magat in the chin.
And for Marion Magat, he had to overcome an injury that kind of derailed him. It was in their very first game in the semi-bubble in Bacolor, Pampanga that he went down holding onto his leg. But it's good to see him back on the court for Blackwater. And we always wish all our players the utmost health and safety, especially as they provide us with entertainment and a sense of normalcy in these troubling and confusing times.
Yes, I have many friends right now watching the game, and they're actually extremely happy to cover the or to watch. They get to watch the PBA games again.
For the second time, Phoenix sends Blackwater to the free throw line. Even though they weren't able to cross the half-court line yet. And now we can truly say Blackwater benefiting from the early penalty situation of Phoenix.
2 free throws for Frank Golia.
They have a lot of tools to really get in the lane. It's either they go more for a higher percentage, but then this guy, I would rather put this guy on the three-point line. He's been steady from that three, and he's definitely a threat. Sayang lang last game when they were up against Northport. He torched Greg Slaughter in the first half, but after that, wala na. When in the second half, he was starting to miss his shots.
2 free throws for Marion Magat.
And there was a lot of confusion there on who was supposed to take those free throws. Initially, it was Ed Dakiwag who stepped up to the free throw line. And then it was announced that it was supposed to be Frank Golia. But I guess upon review, they realized it was Marion Magat.
Well, after he missed that first free throw, I'm sure that maybe that's the reason why he's having those two guys take the free throw. Kaya naman pala eh.
Yeah, that's what he says after making that second one. 43-34, 9-point lead for Blackwater. Matthew Wright.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's what Coach Topex Robinson wants to see from his main man.
He just wants Matthew Wright to take more shots. He normally puts up around 20 attempts in a game.
Remember that game where Matthew was 0 for 14 from the field, but that 15th shot he hit, or he took, against rain or shine, that was what won them the ball game. That ball will still find a way into Matthew Wright's hand. Even though, you know, he's struggling. That's how important he is to Phoenix. But now, there's a Chris Banquero there in the mix. There's Vic Manuel. There's Jason Perkins. Lots of other guys ready to help Wright. Matthew Wright there stroking a three-pointer. And we were talking about all these other guys who are ready to help out. Chris Banquero. There were a lot of red shirts there, but he parted all of them, slicing through, getting 2 points, and bringing Phoenix within 4. (43-39). 4 and 10 remaining in the second quarter. Matthew Wright, coach, he is one of the more impressive scorers we have in the league, and even though, you know, hasn't been the best stretch of his career here in Bacolor, Pampanga, again, you know, Matthew Wright, when his shots start to fall again, he'll be deadly once again as a shooter, as a scorer.
He just has to keep taking his shots. That's his role in the team.
Golia. There's that three-pointer. Misses that one though. Right with the board. Cross-court pass, Banquero. Stop on his tracks. Good defense from Desiderio, but Chua hurts Blackwater with that baseline J.
Well, that's his favorite shot. Well, he's one of those guys also who didn't really get to see much action and develop his skills in college, but when he got to the PBA, that's the time he was able to be at his full potential and can even be like one of those most improved players here.
Another stop by Phoenix. They can tie or take the lead here. Banquero to the trailer right. Chua was asking for it, but Phoenix instead will reset their offense. Right off the curl, no good. Perkins with another rebound. Where will the offense go for Phoenix? Oh, Banquero will be fouled by Golia. Under 3 minutes to go in this second quarter. And, you know, Phoenix knocking on the door of Blackwater. Phoenix Super LPG trying to get back here against the Blackwater Bossing. In the last game that the Blackwater Bossing played against the Northport Batang Pier, they did not have 2 key contributors in Nabong and Amer.
Yeah, they will definitely miss the 12 points, 9 rebounds of Kelly Nabong, plus the intimidation in the middle. Of course, Baseramel, those numbers of 6.9. There's still a lot of room for improvement for Amer, but Justin Chua already with 9 points in the game has really been vital to really assist his team in trying to win this game.
just a few minutes ago, it really looked like Blackwater was about to pull away. They had built a 9-point lead, but look at Matthew Wright get that lead for Phoenix.
And this is dangerous for Blackwater. You don't want Matthew Wright to go wild here in terms of scoring.
It had been a while since Phoenix last led. Oh, Marion Magat going in for a highlight. Couldn't get that jam though.
It's a good attempt that he was trying to go for that dunk.
Perkins was right. Tried to go back door. He finds Chua for the deuce.
Simple lang but very effective, Justin Chua.
Now it's Phoenix with a 3-point lead. They are on a massive run here. And it's been their defense, Coach Eric, that has allowed them to regain advantage in this ball game. And Cruz will be called for an offensive foul as he tried to get rid of the defense of Melesio.
Substitutions. Jake Pascual for Justin Chua. Mike Colombia for Ezequiel. Andre Barras for Marion Magat.
Paras checking into the game. Magat will be replaced as of the moment. 3-point lead for Phoenix. They actually opened this second quarter down by 7 points. Matthew Wright has found his touch. Look at that ball movement for the Fuel Masters. Even though that shot did not fall for Banquero, that's something you would be proud to see if you're Coach Topin.
Well, it's something, the best part about the ball movement there is it's finding its way to the open man.
Tolomia attacking again. He was the one who provided life for Blackwater at the start of this quarter. Melesio zigzagging. Melesio, one-handed floater against the bounce.
De La Salle, former De La Salle superstar in Melesio. We've seen that so many times in his college career, you know, that Spitfire that goes from coast to coast.
Really a fantastic run here. Oh, Tolomia! Oh!
Well, he was looking for like a flagrant or a deliberate foul because the way he fell down there was really dangerous.
Yeah, and Mike Tolomia has certainly been working his magic there. Yeah, he was bumped towards the side of Jake Pascual. That's why he spun mid-air. But as you saw there, Pascual only had his hands up. It's just a matter of
when he twisted,
angle.
Yeah, he twisted his hip a bit. That caught the leg of Tolomia. That's what Tolomia was complaining about.
You know, Coach, that arrested what was a 14-2 run for the Phoenix Fuel Masters. Wow, look at that. It was Banquero tipping in the shot of Manuel. That usually happens the other way around.
Yes. Well, we've seen that many times in Alaska when they were together.
Oh, yeah. And there's really a lot of familiarity between the players of Phoenix, even the new ones. Because Manuel, Banquero, and you also have their RJ Hazul, Jake Pascual. Those guys all were teammates in Alaska at one point.
Ball is on number 7, Matthew Wright. That's his second.
But that's how life is in the Pro League.
Shooting 2.
Oh, yeah.
One day you're teammates, one day you'll be on opposing teams.
And the next day, you're teammates again. Wearing a different uniform.
I know.
As for Mike Tolomia, Ron Denison, the reunion here is being under the leadership of Coach Nash Racena again.
Walang pinagkaibahan. Again, you know, it's like being with your dad again.
That's right, and this is definitely
From college.
Yeah,
Ron Denison was with the coach. Was it Coach Nash or Coach Austin? Coach Nash. I think it was Coach Nash.
he might have been under both mentors actually.
Oh, both. Okay.
Yeah, but
Phoenix Super LPG.
what we're seeing here from Tolomia is that he really feels comfortable having Coach Nash as his mentor. And I think we can say that the respect and that comfort is vice versa, because Coach Nash has given a lot of freedom to Mike Tolomia. In this game, we can see it a lot.
Yes, it's really important that you know, especially in the pro league, you give your players some freedom as long as it's still within the system. You know, coaches in the pro league are like that. They hardly restrict their players to play in a box, or like, you know, parang you don't really want them to be in a box. You want to bring out some of their creativity also, because they are already professional players.
But Coach, talk about the comeback that Phoenix made here in the second quarter.
Oh, those two guys that we flashed on your screens, those are the two guys that were chief engineers for the return or the comeback of Phoenix.
This is what we were talking about, how Blackwater will need to find a way to sustain the energy that they start with. Because against other teams, they also took leads in the first quarter, only to lose it at some point of the game. Still a lot of basketball left here, though, and Blackwater with a chance to try and reclaim that advantage. Wright, difficult shot. Matthew Wright, nothing too difficult for him.
0.1 or 1 second.
And that's going to be a foul on Wright. Escoto was clipped on the arm.
That's not a good foul there.
And that sinister smile on the face of Richard Escoto, just...
oh, there, he got it on the left hand.
That's pretty clear.
Yeah, it's clear there.
I think the initial reaction of Wright is just a look of shock. I don't want to pretend like I know better than the players on the court, but maybe in a situation like that, Coach, what do you think? Maybe
you just challenge. You cannot,
yeah, exactly. Not really go for the ball anymore.
Yeah.
To avoid situations like this.
You only have a second left, and you don't want, and you know, Escoto's going to be taking it from the 3. So you just want, I mean, you just want to just challenge and try to deflect it, but nanggigil siya. He wanted to block it.
He also just came from an incredible shot, didn't you say, on the other side.
Yeah.
But, you know, more than the points that you're giving up for free, it's also the momentum. You're taking into the halftime break. If they came from that shot from Wright, you know, it's a better morale that they enter their dugout with.
Exactly.
However, they still have the lead, and it's thanks to Wright, thanks to Perkins, thanks to Manuel, and thanks to Justin Chua.
Yeah, Justin Chua has been a monster under the basket. 11 points, 8 rebounds, close to a double-double, and we're already just at the half at this point.
He's looking more like the Justin Chua from last year's bubble. He has helped Phoenix to a 2-point lead at the end of the first half. $52-50 is your score at the half. This one between the Blackwater Bossing and the Phoenix Super LPG Fuel Masters here in the Honda PBA Philippine Cup 2021. Action being played over at the Dove Su Gym in Bacolor, Pampanga. Coach Eric Reyes joining me, John Sulit here in the studios in Mandaluyong as we deliver the action to you guys. Back in the first half, we saw great stuff from both teams. The first quarter, it was Blackwater who was able to inflict initial damage, Coach.
Well, there are a lot of players from Blackwater who are performing very well in the first half of action. CBC, Golia, but then ito namang Phoenix, hindi naman sila magpapahuli because they also too want to move up the team standings. Even Justin Chua is having a great game already in the first half, just like Golia.
Yeah, Golia was able to score 8 points in the first quarter alone. Come the second quarter, initially Phoenix rallied back, but then Mike Tolomia happened for Blackwater, scoring 6 straight points, and he was able to reinstate a firm grip of the game for Blackwater, but then Phoenix with the response.
Well, both of those teams had someone to really lift them up. Tolomia was for the Blackwater Bossings. On the part of Phoenix, of course, Matthew Wright exploded aside from Justin Chua. So when you look at the team stats, Blackwater was shooting at a very high clip. That's why the game became close. On the other hand, both of those teams, including the Bossings, were really going a lot to the basket. That's why they were getting a lot of those free throws. Second chance story, that's the reason why the Phoenix Fuel Masters got back in this game, because of those 20-second chance points and offensive rebounds. Bench points definitely fell on the side of Blackwater because they really needed a lot of players to really support if they really want to win in this game.
That's right. And you take a look at the leading scorers, Tolomia with 17, ahead of everyone on the Blackwater side. As for Phoenix, a bit more balanced. You have 11 from Chua, 10 from Wright, 9 from Azul, 8 from Perkins, and 6 from Banchero. Maybe a guy that you'd expect to be there but isn't is Vic Manuel, who only had 2 points on 1 of 4 shooting. He only played 7 minutes in that first half.
Well, I have a feeling, or I have a hunch, that Vic Manuel is having problems with something. Could be, baka may masakit siguro, but kasi matagal siyang hindi naglaro eh.
That's right.
Most of the time, it was Justin Chua manning the slot, but he was also effective, aside from the scoring of Matthew Wright.
And you know, with Matthew Wright, he would get to his average around siguro 15 to 18 points, but his shooting clip would not be the best. And you know, those halftime stats that we mentioned earlier, brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. But when it comes to Matthew Wright in this game, Coach, this is so far, I don't want to jinx it, but so far has been his best offensive performance here in Bacolor, Pampanga.
That's an excellent point. I've been watching Matthew Wright this past few games. Yes, he would have his struggles, especially after hitting, going 0 of 15 and then hitting that winning shot. But then in this game, he's playing a lot better and he's scoring. And you can really see that he has more confidence in his shots.
That's only his second miss, actually. Oh, Banchero! Wow, exploding to the baseline, but credit the defense of Cruz there.
Banchero is still not at 100%. We've seen Banchero score 24, 28 points. And at the half, he's only having 6. He's trying. He has some good moves. It's just that they're not falling yet.
Banchero out to Azul. There's that explosion again to the left. Again ready was the defense of Blackwater. Banchero decides to just, enough of all these moves of explosions. I'm just going to take this shot.
Well, he's doing his job. He wants to break down the defense of the Blackwater Bossings because he wants to get into the heart of that defense. If no one will help, he'll just go straight to the hoop.
4-point lead now for Phoenix. That's a bucket there for Denison. Now, usually Denison provides the defense there. How about some offense?
Well, he's known for that. He's a rugged defender. That's why he's assigned to Matthew Wright.
The interior defense of Blackwater has been impressive to start this third.
Well, they need that, and that's something that is lacking in their game. And it's nice to see that they have worked on their weakness.
Cruz taking that ball down, immediately looking for his guard. Ball with Enciso. Starting the third for Blackwater, Denison, Golia, Cruz, Dakiwag, and Enciso. Miscommunication there. Golia thought that Dakiwag, cutting back door was going to be ready for the pass, but Ed did not realize that Golia was passing towards him.
And that was a tough pass to catch anyway.
Because
so deep under the basket.
And there was a defender right on Dakiwag as well. For Phoenix, the 5 on the floor: Banchero, Wright, Chua, Perkins, and Hazul. Denison back to the task of guarding Matthew Wright. Dakiwag surveying the floor. They're starting their offense up high with Golia. Dakiwag liking this matchup against Banchero down in the post. Involves Cruz, top of the key, 3.
That's big.
Yeah, that's his favorite too.
They need all the support from CBC if they want to win in this game.
with Alaska, with Gilas Pilipinas, with FEU, and now with Blackwater, that top of the T3 is Cruz's spot.
Favorite
Yeah.
niya, you know?
But then Perkins also likes that area, and he answers with the 3 of his own.
Well, it's good that both of them have range and play the power forward position or the 4 position.
Both of those guys,
pressured by Justin Chua.
both Cruz and Perkins also have represented the Philippines, of course, with Perkins in the 3x3 tournament of the SEA Games in Manila a couple of years ago. Jury foul being given up by RJ Azul to stop Blackwater in transition. That's what Banquero will be able to do here, especially when he gets a full grip of his role here in Phoenix. You see how he attracted the defense, coach, when he attacked that basket, that middle?
Pwede. I mean, he was known to be doing that when he was with Alaska, when he was also for a while with Magnolia. And plus, if you really get Vic Manuel 100%, this team is going to be a tough team to beat.
Actually, a lot of people were looking forward to seeing them here in this Philippine Cup because of how well they performed in last year's bubble. But again, not the start they were looking for. Starting to show us that promise here as Perkins. That's his second three-pointer in this third quarter.
He's on a hot start here in the second half.
They post Takiwag up again on the left block. They move that basketball around. Denison, corner 3. Takiwag was pushed away by R.R. Garcia.
Baseball fouls on number 8, R.R. Garcia. That's his second 2 team fouls for Phoenix.
Ball will stay with the Blackwater bossing. In my head, I'm trying to count how many players from FEU are in this game. Because even R.R. Garcia is from FEU. You have CBC, you have Ron Denison, Mike Tolomia, just a bunch of guys there.
Even their coach.
That's right.
Now don't make a mistake of calling this the Blackwater Tamaraws.
Oh yeah, I'm trying my best. Empty possession there for Blackwater. Vic Manuel backing down his former teammate in CBC. Garcia swings it out to right. Extra pass to Manuel. They're moving that basketball. One ball fake. Defense was gone. 3 ball is in.
That's great ball movement on the part of Phoenix.
They have been fluid on offense, coach.
Well, that's really big. And look at this. It moved from left to right, back and forth with a nice ball fake. All it takes is for R.R. Garcia to be squared to the basket, straight and through.
3-pointer there. Lead of Phoenix grows. We have a timeout brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Back in the first half, it was a lot of Chua, a lot of Matthew Wright. Here in the third quarter, it has been a lot of Jason Perkins for Phoenix. And this guy following up on the strong performance he had in their previous game.
Well, he's just taking turns. I mean, in the first game or in the previous game that they had, he was best player of the game. Why? Because he started that game so well. He didn't really get that much scoring from Matthew Wright, and yet Jason Perkins just went wild in that previous game. Now, he already has 14 points. Didn't really start this game the way he used in that previous game. But then here, he's just taking off here in the third quarter.
And that, I feel, is when Phoenix is deadliest. When they're not relying solely on Matthew Wright, nor Vic Manuel, nor Jason Perkins, but tapping on all the weapons they have there. As you see here, it's R.R. Garcia's turn to inflict some damage.
Well, you know, everyone is just taking turns and just lifting this Phoenix team up. But they're playing a lot better as a team, personally, because when I was covering that previous game that they had, that was against Terra Firma, then it was really mostly a show of Jason Perkins.
Garcia, unsuccessful, but the good tap from Perkins gives them another possession. Manuel from downtown.
Second chance opportunities for Phoenix, that's lifting him up. They're fighting under the basket, getting offensive rebounds, and every time there is an open shot from the three, they are taking it with a lot of confidence.
Suddenly a double-digit lead for Phoenix. It has been their outside shot that has been working. They've tapped into this weapon here in the third quarter, and that is how they've built an advantage over the Blackwater bossing. 9-point lead now. And Jake Pascual loving what he's seeing to a point that I've been saying the phrase inflicting some damage. That's definitely what he did to Jansen Rios. We have a timeout brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Point lead now for the Phoenix Super LPG Fuel Masters. It has been their outside shooting, Coach Eric, and it's come from different players. That's why it's been so difficult for Blackwater to stop.
It's going to be for any team. It's a 12-0 run for Phoenix at this stage. For any team, if you're up against a team that you have their star scoring, oh, what a nice pass and a nice slam there, and Ciso to Magat. But when you have a team, or you're facing a team that everyone else is scoring, contributing, that's going to be a team that's so unpredictable to beat.
That's right. 5 of 8 from downtown in the third.
Ayan na.
And immediately, as I say that, it becomes a wrong number because they're now 6 out of 9.
It becomes crazy already.
There is still a lot of time left here. They were actually 6 of 16. Phoenix from downtown back in the first half, but again here, shooting much better. 6 of 9. Desiderio with a mid-range J there, providing some life for Blackwater. Right, against Desiderio. Now, without Denison being the pesky defender that he is, shadowing Matthew Wright. Right now, it's Desiderio, and I think Wright sees this as a green light for him to try and look for his offense.
Well, especially when he has found his range already. I'm sure he's going to start trying to get more shots in.
Desiderio misses badly on that shot. Again, Matthew Wright. There's that screen from Manuel. Pick and pop action. Manuel going down to the post. Missing there. The rebound. Bodies on the floor. At least Perkins was. Blackwater comes away with it.
Nice, nice move.
Tolomia just working his magic, slithering through the defense.
It's a nice Euro step. Ganda na Euro step. Lusot in between.
He just is a wizard when it comes to looking for the gaps in the defense, especially in the paint. But 7 3-pointers now in the third quarter alone for Phoenix.
The biggest turning point of the game, Jot, it was really in the second quarter towards the end when Matthew Wright started hitting his shots.
A turnover there though for the Blackwater Bossing. Miscommunication between Tolomia and Magat. This game has shifted towards the Phoenix side. They're up by 12. Back in the first half, Jason Perkins only had 8 points. And he was shooting 3 for 10 from the field. How about here in the third quarter? 9 points, Coach Eric, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the field, all on 3-pointers.
Nag-init bigla dito si Jason Perkins. I mean, he is really known as a perimeter player, but he has extended his range to a big margin here in taking a lot of 3-pointers, and that's something that really worked in his favor because he's been scoring heavily from the 3-point line.
Chua puts the ball on the floor. Nice spin move. Our finish for Justin Chua.
See the big improvement in the high confidence of Justin Chua. He's really operating from the perimeter, going to the basket.
It's in these situations that you're left to ask who can and who will provide for Blackwater.
Oh, look at the pressure of Alvin Melesio. Although he was a foul there, prior to that attack, Melesio was pressuring Baseramer really hard.
Melesio actually gives up about 2 to 3 inches in height to Baseramer in that matchup. But that doesn't faze him. That doesn't bother him at all. He's had to battle much bigger guards and opponents before. And that guy's just a fighter too. You know, he never backs down from any challenge. In fact, he's someone who embraces challenge when it comes to basketball games.
Or even when he was in DLSU, he was really playing with all heart. And that's something that a lot of people admire about Alvin Melesio.
As for Baseramer, you know, he still is looking for a way to provide more for the bossing. He's tried, definitely, but then just not. It has not been his conference. And that's so difficult to say and to hear, especially if you're Blackwater, because I guess you can be able to absorb a couple of off nights, bad games, but then Baser hasn't really found a groove the entire year.
I mean, again, it's really hard. There's so much pressure on Baser because he came into the team to replace, their #1 scorer.
That's right.
So people would definitely expect. Mac Bello was their #1 scorer then. There was a trade. But then, there's a lot of factors that may affect the game of Baser because, these are unusual times.
That's true.
And getting into a conference, especially if you're recovering from an injury, wherein you can't really have that much, rehab work within the team and they're 5-on-5, then sometimes, getting their game back may take time, especially if your team is struggling in a tournament.
but believe that he will be able to get
I'm
back
sure.
to that usual Baseramer who helped Meralco to a few finals appearances. There's so much talent in Baseramer.
And how many, like, you know, Baser has been like a scoring champion ever since he was in high school, in college. So sooner or later, he will get that back in the Blackwater bossing uniform.
Blackwater trying to get as close as they
Oh.
can, but Aljun Mendecia says not just yet.
So he's never gun shy. Never gun shy. He will always take that shot.
That's 8 3-pointers now in the third quarter alone.
The three-point shot was the biggest weapon of Phoenix to get back in this game.
Phoenix definitely tapping into that. Alberto Canaleta, only 3 seconds on their shot clock. KG, step back, 3, difficult shot, no good. Battle for the board, it will go to Phoenix, last touch on Paras. Not just the fact that they made 8 3-pointers, coach. Phoenix made 8 3-pointers here in the third quarter. They made 8 out of 12 attempts. That's a 66% clip.
They shot the ball very well.
9 seconds on their shot clock. Blackwater might be able to have another shot after this. Banquero. Ball was stripped away by Escoto. Good hands there. Tolomia attacking. Absorbing the bump, but no good. He gets his own miss.
Good count.
And
Seems to be counted.
yeah, the ball went through the hoop. The only question now is, was he able to release it before the buzzer? The referees will review that. But boy, what a quarter that was for the Phoenix Super LPG Fuel Masters.
Yeah, they simply went wild. Let's take a look.
Oh,
I
that
think
will not
it
count.
won't count, yeah.
I'm
Really
sure,
close.
yeah, Blackwater was really hoping that they get those 2 points, bring some positive energy into the fourth. But it's Phoenix dominating the third quarter. Entering the fourth quarter, it's 82-68 in favor of the Fuel Masters. Mike Tolomia, a huge factor for Blackwater in having a taste of that lead earlier in this game. But he had 17 points at the half, only 2 in that third quarter.
That's 80% field goal shooting, 8 out of 10. The problem is, siya lang eh. I mean, plus they were not able to really put the cuffs on the Phoenix Fuel Masters in the third quarter when they just went on a tear with their three-point shooting. 30 points in the third quarter for Phoenix, and in the second quarter also.
They are looking for more guys to help out, especially on the offensive side. Tolomia. Mike Tolomia drawing that foul on Larry Muya. But also impressive was how Phoenix was moving their feet in that defensive stint.
Well, you know, it's good. He has the hot hand. He's doing things right. He's very aggressive, but he can go on a one-on-one attack once in a while. But if it's going to be on every opportunity, it's not gonna help Blackwater, because you want, right now it's Tolome is the best scorer. So he has to continuously be aggressive, but he has to also kick out on those open shots because he needs the help of other Blackwater players to score.
That's right. Tolomia now has broken into the 20s in scoring. But after him, Marion Magat with 14. After Magat, no other guy in double figures. Tolomia has that ball once again. And there are scorers on the floor for Blackwater. There's Simon Enciso, Baseramer, even KG Canaleta. And also there, Cruz, who can help out with his outside shooting, but hasn't been.
Nice pass.
Oh yeah.
Help.
That indeed was a beautiful pass, but then Perkins knew exactly where Blackwater wanted to go.
So that's what's going to happen. Even if he goes in a backdoor cut, Tolomia could have, and a teammate would have also tried to go closer to the basket for a nice drop to help Mike Tolomia there.
Cruz swinging that basketball around. Amer. I think that shot was deflected by Wright. Francis Tamsi has just checked into the game. Actually, he has been there for Coach Topex Robinson. 12-point lead for Phoenix. Muyang gets away from the D, and a fantastic find from Wright.
And no rotation there on the part of Blackwater from the weak side.
I really think, Coach, that the ball movement of Phoenix has been spectacular throughout the second half.
Agree.
And that's also why, remember that ball fake from R.R. Garcia earlier? It completely got rid of the defense of Simon Enciso. They had moved that ball so well that the defenders would buy on those ball fakes, on those pass fakes.
Yeah, even Larry Muyang is making his contributions here in this game. Those are back-to-back baskets.
Phoenix has definitely been able to tap into so many weapons here. That was the beautiful two-man game between Wright and Muyang. This time around, it's Perkins feeding the big man down low. The rookie delivers, and he gets a chance to complete a three-point play.
Blackwater's breaking down in terms of like the two-man game. It's either they're going to trap the pick and roll, or are they going to just go show? Because those are two picks that Muyang gave, and it just left them wide open. There's no communication there on the part of the defense of Blackwater.
Blackwater is not out of this yet. The deficit they're facing right now, especially after that bucket from Canaleta, is still surmountable. But then they have to string stops and makes on the offensive end.
Yeah, they really have to start making their move now.
That's not going to help Blackwater.
It's not going to help, yes.
When the three-point shooting of Phoenix continues to hurt them here in the second half. Enciso slices the defense. Kick out to Canaleta. Miss from the corner. Now it's Wright. Again looking for Muyang, and there was the bump from Canaleta.
KG Canaleta is having a tough time against Muyang.
And I'm looking at Muyang. He is so far, Coach, from the weight that he used to play with when he was with the Letran Knights. Really slimmed down, and he was so strong when he was bigger, but then from the collisions we've seen here in this game and the three-point play opportunity he had earlier, he's maintained that strength.
Well, especially in the PBA. I mean, no matter how strong you are in the collegiate or even in the D-League, once you get in the PBA, you really have to bulk up a bit.
Matthew Wright doing Matthew Wright things. He said, shooter shoot. And he said, best believe that thing is gonna go up. That ball is gonna fly when it reaches his hands. All of that is true. And he's knocking down all these difficult three-pointers. Right now, Matthew has 16 points and has found his mark from downtown. 4 of 8 from deep range.
Well, he's been looking for that shot for many games ago, and now it's falling. His confidence is sky high.
In this game, Coach, if Phoenix does go on to take this win, with all the contributions from the different guys on top of these insane numbers that Wright has been able to produce today, this is really gonna propel Phoenix in terms of morale boost, in terms of their confidence as a unit. This will do a lot of good for them.
Oh, definitely. This is what you call each team is just waiting for a breakout game. Most especially for those teams struggling, they just need a breakout game, and this could be the breakout game that Phoenix is waiting for.
Desiderio misses, gets his own miss. Leaves it for Canaleta. You know, KG can get up high.
I thought he was going to slam it.
I thought so too, and maybe I kind of hope. I mean, we got spoiled with a lot of dunks today, especially in earlier game.
Well, if you've seen Jamie Malonzo a while ago, but then again, even Jansen Rios is also getting into the three-point shooting column.
11 made threes in the second half for Phoenix. It has been the story of how they built this 22-point lead. They're about to break into the hundreds with 7 minutes. Actually, closer to 8 minutes remaining here in the game. Right against Enciso. I'm sure Phoenix fans, they also miss having Enciso in their team. Remember that time when it was Matthew Wright and Simon Enciso running the show for Phoenix, and they were a duo that instilled fear in a lot of other teams in the PBA.
Oh, that's when Simon Enciso was shooting arrows left and right.
Takiwag.
Oh.
Wow, still able to get that to fall in.
Fouls on number 28, Jansen Rios. That's his first, second team foul.
Look at that. And Takiwag getting to the paint, just floating it up. And he got the result that he went in there for. Seven points now for Dakiwag. 7.5 to go. 96-77. 19-point lead for Phoenix. Manuel now to Rios. Jansen, they give him some space. Comes up short on that one. Desiderio strong. And also a great setup for Blackwater. Also showing some promise here. They gotta move quick if they want to get back from this 17-point deficit. They'll have 7 minutes and 8 seconds remaining. Timeout whistled here, brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Phoenix Super LPG banking on a lot of weapons here today. One of them, RJ Hazul.
Yeah, RJ Hazul has been ably supporting, the hot shooting Matthew Wright, even Jason Perkins. Nagsabay-sabay yung nag-click, Jot, and that's something good with Phoenix in this game.
If we had a lot more space on that bar there, that showed us the numbers of RJ Azul, you would have been able to show you that he also has 3 assists and 0 turnovers, coach. So it
Yes,
has
that's
been a perfect
impressive.
game so far for RJ Azul.
That's impressive when you have 0 turnovers and then you're also scoring and having some assists. This is a good game for Phoenix because all their scorers who they are really expecting to score have really delivered in this game.
Yeah, you have 5 guys in double figures, and after those 5, you still have some more points scattered among your bench guys.
24 second, the shot clock violation pa. Si Manuel nga didn't really get to score as much yet.
That's right.
Can you imagine if Vic Manuel, who can also put up numbers, joins in this scoring column?
Yeah, Vic Manuel only with 5 points, 2 out of 7 from the field, but he only played less than 15 minutes in this game. Wow, Justin Chua. And look at Phoenix. If they're not hitting 3-pointers, they're getting 3 points in a different way.
They're just playing at a high level now. This is the Phoenix team that has been very competitive in the previous bubble.
And this is also the Justin Chua that we saw in that previous bubble. A runner-up for the most improved player, and it's been those two, Chua and Matthew Wright. They started the run of Phoenix here. Even when Blackwater held the lead, it was them who was scoring in the first half. Everyone helping out here in the second.
That could have been a good layup there by Enciso, but it still couldn't find its mark.
Yeah, it has been a tough afternoon for Simon. Chua, you can tell, coach, that it's true for Chua and a lot of other Phoenix players. Their confidence is high.
Especially if you know you have your best players scoring and getting their shots to fall. Plus, if you, of course, Justin Chua, one of their big men who's also contributing. Phoenix is going to be very hard to beat when all of those players are really providing the numbers that they're expected.
It's back to a 20-point lead for Phoenix. It was really in that third quarter that they dominated. They outscored Blackwater 30-80 in that period. It was thanks to the 8 3-pointers they knocked down in that quarter. Imagine 24 out of the 30 points that they had in the third quarter came from 3-pointers.
Oh, what a block.
And he had something to say as well.
What a block. That's big, Jot. That's something that Phoenix can really look forward to. Their outside shooting really is clicking for them.
RJ Azul staying perfect from the field. Now 5 out of 5, and that's his first 2-point conversion. All the first 4 shots were from 3-point range.
I haven't seen RJ produce that much numbers for a long time. He definitely is really capable of doing so.
That's right. I mean, RJ Azul has been a knockdown shooter for a long time, and for Alaska with Alaska rather, that he was really able to show that. And now with Phoenix, he steps into a bigger role, because now he's the leader. He's the veteran. Back with Alaska, he had veterans who were kind of mentoring him.
Yeah, yes, that's true. But usually it's like that, Jot. It's always passing on the torch. After the newbies become oldies, I mean, they have to be the one to take charge and show a lot of leadership in their respective teams.
Absolutely, and I think RJ Azul has been able to provide that for Phoenix in an excellent way. Right inside to Chua, the extra pass. Garcia steps in, jumper, bottom of the net.
And you know what's nice about that last play? Umikot na naman yung ball eh. There's a lot of passing involved. So many players were able to touch that ball.
And CBC hitting a 3 again. Blackwater hoping that it came much earlier, and it came much more frequent. That entry pass was disrupted, but it was actually Dakiwag and Cruz bumping into each other. Dakiwag looks like he's hurt. Well, actually, it's him and Cruz.
Can you imagine teammates hitting each other and someone getting injured? We also saw that in the Magnolia game, remember, with that was Calvin Abueva and Mark Baroka. After a handoff, nagkatamaan eh. Ganon din naman to, no? Minsan talaga, mag-teammate pa yung aksidente. Kakaroon ng ganitong, pangyayari that you don't really want to see.
Yeah, that's right. And it's really just unfortunate for Blackwater, and looks like Dakiwag
But this
also
is more,
slipped.
this is more dumulas eh.
Yeah, it was a slip.
slip.
Well, it was actually scary. Dakiwag
He
almost hit his face on the floor.
Wow, yeah.
And Dakiwag was holding on to his hand. There seemed to be a tape finger there. His index finger on his right hand was heavily taped. Might be something that he injured already before.
Prior,
and
yes.
Baka nasaktan ulit. He's up and running. All right, he's okay.
He's okay.
Don't worry about
He's
him
okay,
too
yeah.
much.
Wala na yung sakit, nakascore na eh.
That's always the best pain reliever in basketball, when you score points. You know how there are a lot of yung mga rubs that players use,
Oh yes,
and
madami.
compress a lot of different ways. But when you score points,
Oh, it
tanggal
goes
lahat ng
away.
sakit.
Oh yes. Injuries.
Especially when back-to-back.
Of course. Parang nagising lang eh, no? Here they were running the fast break so well. Colomia scoring on that nice layup.
Blackwater, will they be able to pull off a miracle comeback here? We'll find out after this break. Again, taking a look at the team standings, TNT has booked that first seed in the quarterfinals, the playoffs at least. It's going to be a matter of where the teams, or which seed they will eventually end up with, because there's still some games left. As for Blackwater,
But I don't
it's
think,
a
yeah.
very slim chance. But as long as there's a chance, and as long as there's time on the clock, you do play and you do try to get a win.
Because right now, with the way things are going, they will go to their 9th loss. That's going to be 0-9. That means they only have 2 wins, 2 games left. And should even they win that, that's going to be they're going to end up 2-9.
And you know, that will be,
You're not going to be in good shape if you're 2-9, because a lot of the teams lower are already in the 3rd win and they still have more games left.
Coach, if they do go down in a loss today, that will be their 17th straight loss dating back to last year's bubble. And that will be tying the worst losing streak in the history of the PBA. Right now, this is already their all-time longest losing slump in franchise history.
This is really something that any team would not really want to be in.
3-10 remaining in this game. Blackwater will have to make their move, and it will have to come in bold fashion. Dakiwag steps back, 3-pointer, no good. Kalisan grabbing that board. This is a great sign for Phoenix, though. How well they played as a unit. And, tapping into the right buttons at the right times of this game.
Yeah. The right buttons at the right time, at the McEnroe, for sure they will start winning games. As long as they do the right things.
Absolutely. And, here, Big Manuel, I think he also wants to join some of his teammates in the double-digit scoring column. He's got 7 points right now. Phoenix still ahead by 19.
Yeah, Phoenix is very hard to stop at this stage.
Allow me to correct myself. If Blackwater loses this game, they do absorb a loss today. They will tie the second longest losing streak. Games tomorrow, by the way, still at the Dubsu Gym. San Miguel versus Rain or Shine at 2 p.m. Ginebra versus TNT at 4:35. That's a rematch of last year's finals. And then Northport versus NLEX to cap off that Sunday triple header. 2.5 minutes remaining here. And CISO has had a very, very tough shooting day here. Oh, but Blackwater, they will take those.
Why not? Well, any point to add to that score will definitely help, but they have to do it in a hurry because we only have 2 minutes left, and Phoenix is still up by 17 points.
Melesio fires away.
Oh, wow.
Wow. 3-point shooting for Phoenix.
I guess that's it, Jut. Very hard to stop Phoenix at this stage. Everyone is oozing with confidence.
It's hard to score 20 points in 2 minutes,
yes,
let alone
yes.
not the other team score.
I haven't seen.
In terms of 3-point shooting, Coach, it just has been absolutely amazing for Phoenix here in the second half. They were 6 of 16 back in the first half. Here in the second half, they shot 12 of 17. And CISO looking for something. Blackwater really looking for something here. Oh, there was
The Muse is in
Tangle.
the Escoto.
Yeah, Escoto and the Muse is getting tangled up. And for these two teams, for all the players there on the court, you just want to keep your cool. This game's pretty much settled. It's just going to be about the final score. Well, of course, quotient.
Well, let's take a look
There's
at what
always
happened
quotient.
here.
Yeah. We're boxing out, some pushing, some shoving.
That's his second.
Oh, they just got entangled up there.
I am very surprised at how the Muses looked surprised that the foul was whistled on them.
Yeah.
Well, we saw a push.
They were
I don't know.
just jostling for position.
Right. It happens.
I guess they got entangled there and he just wanted to get away from Escoto.
That's right. Coach, we'll be right back and we'll talk more about what happened in this game. Thank you for joining us here on PBA Rush. We are nearing the conclusion of our Saturday doubleheader. As we take a look at the standings, Blackwater, unfortunately, it's looking like they will be dropping to 0-9, and their losing slump, tracing back to last year's PBA bubble, looks like they will be absorbing their 17th straight loss. You know, with how Blackwater played here, they also missed the services of a key person in their roster in Kelly Nabong. How much did the absence of Kelly Nabong play out in this game, Coach?
Well, at least Kelly could have matched up against Justin Shua. But the problem is that a lot of the points or the breakaway happened for Phoenix when they started hitting their three-point shots.
And the three-point shooting of Phoenix, heading into this game, they were just averaging about 28% from downtown. Shot 52% in this game. So that just really paints a picture of how well they played and how much success they found from the field today, particularly from deep range. Phoenix will be taking this W, sending Blackwater deeper. Well, they are at the bottom of the standing, so not really deeper, but a worse record, 0-9. As for Phoenix, it will help their cause in trying to rise up the rankings.
Well, and not only that, I mean, Phoenix will definitely build their confidence. It's really more on, you know, getting that breakout game. Phoenix did struggle for a while, but it's getting the confidence back of Matthew Wright, even RJ Azul, Justin Shua, those guys. You know, Vic Manuel, you can expect him to come up with bigger numbers next time, but what matters the most is the outside shooting of Phoenix really connecting today.
And this is actually the first back-to-back wins of Phoenix in this tournament after a spectacular showing last year in the 2020 version of the bubble. They take this one over the Blackwater, bossing 114-92. Just an impressive display of team basketball from the Fuel Masters.
Yes, definitely. It's really all about team basketball, great team shooting. That's something that carried them over. The part of Blackwater, yes, there were a lot of players that definitely were missed in today's game.
6 players ended up in double figures for the Phoenix Super LPG, but our next level player of the game is Matthew Wright with 16 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. And that's brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. He did so many things today.
Yes, definitely. He shot the ball well, he was helping orchestrate, and he was a leader out there in his team. Aside, of course, from the stellar performances of Jason Perkins and the rest of the Phoenix Fuel Masters.
That's right. Perkins and Chua had 17 points each. You had Melesio with 11, Banquero and Banquero had 10, and Azul had 14. That's why you see Phoenix back-to-back wins, now 4-5. They move up over in Barangay Ginebra, San Miguel.
Yes, this is going to be a big win for Phoenix, just to give them a chance to move into the next round.
That's right. And you know what? While there is some shape that we're starting to see in our playoff picture, there's still a lot of change that could happen with the many games that are still to be played. Let's turn it over now to the press room.
Good evening and welcome to our post-game interview. Joining us are Phoenix Super LPG Fuel Masters head coach Topex Robinson and our best player of the game, Matthew Wright. Congratulations, coach. Congratulations, Matt. Matthew, did you and coach talk about anything in particular before this game? If so, what about?
Topex threatened us that if we didn't win, he was going to trade all of us at the end of the game. So we were all scared. So it was a must-win game. And when coach, at the end of the day, the coaching staff does endless hours of film, and even though we're the ones playing the game, they're the ones who lose sleep at night figuring out a game plan. So we just wanted to come out collectively as a unit on the same page, regardless of what the game plan was, and just take it one game at a time. We know that we have a long schedule, two big games coming up against Ginebra and San Miguel, two very winnable games, and we're very confident against those teams. So we just wanted to do right by the coaching staff because they work tirelessly to prepare us for each game.
Okay. Mr. Denison Dalupang would like to ask a question.
Good afternoon, guys. Congrats on the win, Coach Topex and Matt. Question for Matt. As you mentioned earlier, two big games coming up, and knowing you, the competitive player that you are, how are you navigating these coming days, especially with your backs against the wall, two must-wins, and in comparison to the journey that you guys went through the last bubble, how are you navigating these coming days?
We don't really like talking about last bubble anymore. That was a year ago, and we're a completely different team now. We have 5 new players, we have rookies, we have free agents, we made some trades. So we have a different team, and we have a different mindset, we have a different game plan. So this conference has been a challenge, but I'm sure there's other guys who are like me on the team that enjoy challenges. I enjoy my back against the wall, because when the pressure's on, that's when you really see who you are as a person, and you really see what you're made of. So these next 2 games against 2 giants are going to be huge, but at the end of the day, it's just basketball, and they got to guard us too. As good as those teams are, they got to guard us too, and I think that we're slowly picking up momentum. We won 3 out of 4 games so far since the restart. I'm starting to finally find my touch in this gym. It took me a while, but I felt like today I finally, broke that barrier. And I'm starting to see our team developing an identity, offensively and defensively. So I think we're moving in the right track, and that's all I can really hope for.
Got it, Matt. Thank you very much.
No problem, Den.
Up next, Mr. Ray Hoble.
I'd like to ask to Coach Topex. First back-to-back victories for your team. You see this as a long time coming?
Again, we try to always be our best. Yun naman ang palagi naming mindset coming to games. We want to take the win will be the byproduct of what we're doing, just like what Matt said. We're in the process now of rebuilding. We love this kind of opportunities for us to really get better and sharpen our saw. So again, we're going to always take this win. And moving forward, it's going to be a tough 2 games for us, just like what Matt said. So we'll always learn from this experience. Again, winning hides a lot of flaws. We still have a lot of things to work on as a team. But good thing about us is we have control of our destiny. So we just have to grind it out with our last 2 games.
Thank you, Coach.
Up next is Mr. Bong Lozada.
Hi, Coach Topex. Congrats po. Coach, 2 very big teams ahead. Do you think your team has the right sense of urgency right now to go over this and secure a place in the playoffs?
Again, yes, those are 2 big teams, but we always think about this. We know we're going to be tough up against the tough teams, and what doesn't kill us will only make us better. So I guess the pressure is not on us. We just want to get better. Whatever happens, as long as we play our best basketball, which is even not comparative of that other team, but as long as we play together, we've been on this situation before. No matter what happens, we want to learn. And we want to give ourselves a chance kung nasan man kami playing those top 2 teams. So now we have nothing to lose in this last 2 games. So again, chance for us to get better and be stronger as a group.
Let's relive the action that we saw in these game highlights, brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. And, at the start of this game, we already saw how Phoenix wanted a win. Blackwater had a better start, to be honest, but then Phoenix never really let Blackwater blow them out of this game.
Yes, maganda talaga yung start ng Phoenix. Ng Blackwater. They started this game with a lot of confidence, a lot of they were having a good shooting night like Frank Guolia. especially Mike Tolomia rather, maganda yung pinapakita niya, and he was the one leading the way for Blackwater. But the problem is, what their problem is Phoenix really made a big comeback here that started in this outside shot of Matthew Wright. You saw the score, 43-39. This is the time when they started scoring. Chua, Matthew Wright, and of course Perkins was also contributing heavily in that quarter.
Yeah, Wright and Chua combined for 21 points in the first half, but Tolomia was also unstoppable, 17 points in the first half alone. But these 3-pointers from Phoenix in the third quarter would be the game changer.
You look at that passing, look at that ball fake. To me, Tolomia of Blackwater played a great game. Golia was okay in that first half. But the thing is, John, hindi nila kaya dalawa lang eh. As against a Phoenix team, nakandami. There's just so many players who scored heavily in this game and contributed in this game.
By the time the third quarter ended, it was already a 14-point lead for Phoenix. And that continued to grow as they continued to hit from outside.
Can you imagine, you have Perkins, Hazul, Matthew Wright, those players who were struggling with their game, and of course Justin Chua. Those are the guys who scored a lot, and even Aljon Melesio also contributed in this game.
Again, Perkins, Banquero, Wright, Chua, Melesio, and Hazul, 6 players in double figures for Phoenix. And then you have the likes of Garcia with 8, Muyang with 7, Manuel with 7 as well. That's why it was a high-scoring game for them, something they actually like.
Yes.
114-92 for the Phoenix Super LPG. Tomorrow, we have another triple header. San Miguel versus Rain or Shine at 2 p.m. 4:35 is the rematch of last year's finals, Ginebra versus TNT. And then capping it off at 7, Northport versus NLEX. Thank you for joining us here on PBA Rush. For my partner, Coach Eric Reyes, this is John Sulit, thanking you for tuning in to the PBA.